Hi, this is Barbara Robertson again, IBCLC, Master's in Education, and I want to talk about paced bottle feeding. Paced bottle feeding is important for so many reasons. The first it was first developed back a number of years ago by D. Casing. D. Casing is another fellow IBCLC, and it was developed to help babies transition back to the breast because, and we're going to talk about this, some of the various aspects of paced bottle feeding. But now we actually feel like it should be used for all babies, no matter what's in the bottle, because it helps promote healthy eating. It slows down the feed, it lets the baby be in charge of the feed, and this helps prevent overeating from the baby, which then can help prevent obesity later in life. So let's talk a little bit about some of the aspects of it. So the traditional bottle feeding method is the baby's kind of on their back and the bottle's nice and high, gulp, gulp, gulp. And this is what we see in images and things like this. We've been told, oh, we have to keep this teat filled. If we don't, the baby's going to swallow air. And that's so later on, you might learn about some myths and misinformation. This is one of the biggest myths and misinformation that's out there, that we have to keep this teat filled or else the baby's going to swallow air. Think about if you're drinking, like using a straw. Do you get lots of air? Because you're not, you're pulling that air and that straw goes up into your face and do you swallow it? No, you don't. Just try to swallow air when you're just sitting here breathing. Try to swallow air. You can't, because if you don't have volume, if you don't have some liquid or food in your mouth to push the air down, the air will naturally just go out your nose. Now, as I said, we've been told this. And if you think about it, it's actually the exact opposite. When do we swallow the most air? It's when we're gulping something. It's not if we're sipping something. So we really want to encourage our babies to sip from the bottle, again, no matter what is in the bottle, whether that's pumped milk, whether it's donor milk, shared milk, or formula. All right. So instead of being on our back, because who wants to eat on your back anyway, we're going to have our babies be more upright. And then we're going to reinforce these breastfeeding behaviors along the way. So just like when we're latching a baby, want to bring the baby in and touch the baby's chin to the breast, we're going to go ahead and touch this teat to the baby's chin and lower lip. When the baby opens nice and wide, we're going to go ahead and put the bottle teat in the baby's mouth. But this is something I just learned a few years ago from a great colleague of mine, Lisa Marasco. We're going to keep this bottle down so the baby does not get food right away. They have to wait. They have to be patient. They're going to do empty sucks, and they're just going to be like, they're not going to swallow air. They're just going to be basically breathing in. What that's going to do is it's going to teach them patience, and then they're going to have patience at the breast. Remember, I told you that this technique was originally designed to help babies transition to the breast. So if we put a baby to the breast and the baby gets there and they're like, wait, where's the fast flow? Where is it? They're not going to have the patience to get that let down going. So we're going to go ahead, like I said, touch. Then when they open wide, say, good job. And then we're going to put in their mouth and keep the back of this bottle down for anywhere from 10 to 30 sucks. Now, if you have a baby who's used to the chug-a-lug festival of bottle eating, at first they might be very angry. They might be like, what is it? It's broken. I don't understand. So you might only do a few empty sucks and then go ahead and pick it up and give them some food. All right, so we're going to give 10 to 30 sucks ideally. Then we're going to go ahead and lift this bottle and we're going to have, and people talk about having the bottle parallel. Yes, that's part of it, but it's also really looking at where is the amount of liquid in this teat. We want it to cover this hole, but not so much that gravity is helping in any way. We want to do it so that the baby has to pull the milk in themselves. If we have the bottle nice and high, these bottles, if you just like put them upside down, it drip, drip, drip. The bottles, they're just go ahead and they pour liquid in. And this is even if they're a stage 1 or a newborn nipple, which we're going to encourage you to keep using no matter how old the baby is. Why would you make the opening in this bottle nipple bigger for a more able baby, right? We want to keep that flow nice and slow. So we're going to go ahead again and touch, put it in, keep it down, pick it up, and then we're going to really watch the level. We're going to watch the baby's expression. If the baby starts going, or their hands start splaying, or they start making any choking noises, we can go ahead and just quickly lower that bottle back down and let the baby catch their breath. And then we can pick it up and then lower it down. And ideally, a bottle should take 15 to 20 minutes to give, not 5. So if you have a baby, you're like, oh my God, the baby just chokes it down. It's like, that's not such a great thing. Another thing we want to think about is never letting the baby actually bottle feed themselves, because they will go ahead and use their hands, lift it nice and high, and start chug-a-lugging. So bottle feeding is something that a parent or a caregiver does with the baby. They don't do it by themselves. Finally, often we find that babies who are not breastfeeding well, sometimes they don't bottle feed so well either. Yeah, they can choke it down, but does that mean they're bottle feeding well? And the answer is probably not. So there are times when a baby they might actually need this bottle to be a little higher because they're not able to generate the motions needed to be able to drink well. So sometimes they have like a global feeding problem, and we'll see it at the bottle as well, and we'll need to have it higher. But once this baby gets a little older, a little more mature, hopefully get some of the issues addressed that might be causing some of these feeding options, we're going to start asking for more from them. So we can still go ahead and touch, have some empty sucks, but if they're not feeding well, we might need to have it a little higher, because again, it should take 15 to 20 minutes. If it's taking your baby 30 minutes to take a bottle, that's probably there's something going on. So some of the key points, again, we're going to have the baby more upright, touch, have them open, keep it down for 10 to 30 sucks, lift it so the milk barely covers the hole, and then we're going to put it down periodically to let them take a break, or if they seem stressed, or we can twist it and put it on their cheek to take a break. It takes the body at least 15 minutes or so to realize that your stomach is full. Full. So if we feed quickly, these babies don't understand that they have already eaten a full meal. And that's when we start like, oh, I was giving 3 ounces, but now the baby seems like they need 4. And then it creeps to 4.5, then 5, then 6 ounces. This is not a healthy way to eat. We want to keep these bottles to be an appropriate amount for that baby. And so creeping up to those big bottles is also not a great idea. So lots of things to think about. This is a very different way. A lot of parents, the grandparents especially, or the caregivers will be like, I know how to give a bottle. And I'm like, yeah, but we also used to drink during our pregnancies and smoke. We now know that's not the healthy thing to do. We also didn't used to use car seats. We now know that that's the healthy and safe thing to do. So this is just another thing we've learned. Paced bottle feeding, no matter what's in the bottle, to help this baby learn how to listen to their bodies, listen to their satiation cues, and eat in a healthy way that will last a lifetime. So thanks so much for your attention, and hopefully this will help you with your clients or with your baby.